for a second there.
I wonder if there's anybody else waiting. Oh, here you go. I guess I can keep that somewhere. Oh, yeah, disable waiting room. Okay, hopefully that will stop us from needing to use the waiting room. All right, so we can go ahead and get started. Thank everybody for jumping on this training. We're just we're gonna go over the step-by-step process around how to reconcile, how to go from how to submit an RFE and follow through all the way to reconciling using Expensify. Does anybody have any questions? All right. All right, so we can go ahead and get started. I think that this first part is going to be, so this section of the presentation is going to focus around what happens before we actually start spending. So that's going to be primarily around like submitting RFEs. Let's see. So the first part of submitting an RFE, Antoine, can you go on mute, please? Thank you. So yeah, so the first part of it is requesting an RFE, and then just getting the deposit, setting up a check number, and then your weekly audit. So before we get into that, what I'm going to reference is going to be the financial tracker that we're going to be using, which is, everybody in health promotions has seen and loves this document because we look at it all the time, right? So we're gonna, this is the, can everybody see this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the finance tracker that I've already set one up for education, but this is the one that health promotions uses. And essentially what it does is it captures how much money each program has to spend for any given period of time. And then in the second tab, it goes over, it captures all of the entries that you're entering in as you're spending money. And you can, this is a really helpful tool to figure out when you're reconciling where things are getting billed and how to quickly access receipts. And then from there, every subsequent tab details how much money has been spent per program and how much money you have left to spend. And so they're all set up in the exact same way. So I just wanted to quickly go over that before we got into the RFEs and what the check numbers mean. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. So then from here, Chris is going to take over from here.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great Friday. We are almost there. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about, first, just filling an RFE out and submitting one. So as you can see here with this RFE, this one is made payable to Michelle Obama, who's staying at the White House. So you want to make sure that you're filling in some of the necessary areas. Just keep in mind that your date requested at the top left-hand corner is going to be the date that you're actually submitting the RFE, and then on the opposite side, the right-hand side, is going to be 2 weeks later, or the date that the like check would show up. So you would request it 2 weeks in advance. And then making sure that you're filling in a lot of the necessary sections. One of the things that on here that it does state, or that it does have, that I also want to bring attention to, is at the bottom when putting in your codes that you're applying to the correct Q code. I won't get into too much detail with that. I'm sure George and Cynthia will both hit that numerous times in this. So after, at least for health promotions, we're able to find our fees on our in our G Drive folder. I'm assuming, George, you can let me know if it's the same thing for you guys. And if not, your manager should also have it. If for your RFEs, if it's under 600, your manager should be able to sign off on that. And if it's more than that, then you would have to escalate that up. Are there any questions so far? Okay. So the order of that you would have to send these out would be as follows: Patricia, Bryant, and then Loopy, depending on how the amount that you're requesting. Okay, are we on the same slide? Next slide. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, you're on the right one. Okay.
Not so.
So RFPs are on the weekly batches, are filed for the weekly basis. So for programming, for example, for me, I send an RFP out each week. And you can't, Cynthia, correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot, if you send an RFP out for your program until that one is clear, like you can't have so many in the queue at one time. So for example, like currently Health Promotions has an RFP that is out, and as soon as that one comes back, then we will start looking at the next few weeks for it. RFPs must be submitted by 5 p.m. on Friday in order to be a part of the payment to the business office. And you would send those to Delmi, I'm so sorry. Direct deposits will be made into your account if indicated, and checks should be ready within 2 weeks from the Friday you submitted. So just remember, in the top right-hand corner, that's the date that you would be putting onto the RFE. And then on the, I'm sorry, yeah, on the right-hand side is the date that you would be putting the 2 weeks out. And then on the left-hand side is where you would be putting that day's date.
So just to quickly go, just to add to that, Chris, you all should have access to a Google version of this sheet that already automatically puts in the date here and gives you the date that it's 2 weeks out from that day. So if you use this document, which it's in the procedures, Education has one, and this is Health Promotions, and they also have preloaded names here, and they also have preloaded names here, which Education has theirs preloaded as well. And the codes and subcodes, I'm sorry, the code line item codes per grant are also already loaded. The formulas work, and they will auto add. And then each Education has their grants all preloaded here as well. You can obviously type in over it if you need to, if it's something unique, but I think I captured all of in Health Promotions and the Education side. They both have their information already preloaded for it to be a quicker process for everybody. Do you need to go next slide, Chris?
I'll just add that I think this document's really helpful because you're able to pre-fill it all in, and then you can just download it if you need to save it as a PDF in order to send it over. And then you usually just clear out your answers so that the person that uses it next can fill in their own. But it makes it a lot easier to get things done when you don't have to look up the codes all the time.
And was there a Google Drive folder that was sent for education and workforce?
It's
With-
called
with those?
E&W shared folder. Yes,
Say that again?
E&W shared folder.
Chris and George. So I noticed there that you're saying that requests for expenditure should be sent to Lorena at LAYC.